and welcome back to what was it called?
The gaming corner. Gaming corner.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry. Hello and welcome back to Gaming Corner. And yes, we're back to playing Our Life.
Yeah.
And we're doing a DLC today. I'm Twilight.
And I'm KG.
This is a disaster.
It's fine. It's been a while. Alright, so right now we have 4 left to go before we start step 3. And so the first DLC we'll be going over is Soiree. Alright. Let us begin. You willed away the morning, doing whatever struck your fancy, and now you were recharging with lunch. With nothing on the horizon, you were free to spend as much or as little time on your plate as you wanted. It was while you were thinking all the possibilities for your afternoon that your moms approached you.
Hi.
Hi, Sheena.
You okay?
Mouthful, you nodded in reply. To your surprise, they both sat with you at the table. Based on the time, you had wondered if they were joining you for a meal, but neither of them brought anything.
Alright.
Great. We wanted to have a little chat with you.
The qualifier little did nothing to downplay the situation. Your chewing slowed as your eyes widened, looking from one parent to the other. Anything that required both of them to talk to you must be something big. It was It was unsettling. You perked up, your mind full of exciting possibilities. Irritated at their interruption, you groaned. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's a very strange situation.
Like if our moms were like just came up to us, I would be kind of unsettled because am I in trouble for something or like are you gonna drag me to somewhere? So
yeah, unsettled then.
Yeah, all right. I forgot that you were saying the choices because it's been so long since we recorded.
It was unsettling.
You didn't like being the one not knowing what was going on. Stomach churning, you waited for them to fill you in.
There.
Aw, don't worry. It's nothing scary, promise.
There's a soiree at the
Cypress.
Oh, Cypress, whoops. At the Cypress tomorrow night. Your ma and I are going.
The Cypress was the country club your moms were a part of and where Elizabeth played golf. It seemed like every other month they had some event or another, all fancy names like Soiree. Chewing your lip, you wondered what this had to do with you. Mom chuckled at your poor concealed reaction. Leaning in, Ma took your hand and squeezed it. We decided to make the night a bit special. Elizabeth's going to be allowed to stay home fully alone for the first time.
Sorry.
You'll still be coming to the party with us. It's Elizabeth's night to party with no family around. Not yours, sorry. You've got to wait a couple of more years.
Excuse you, I am 13 in this. We are 13, so I'm like, Elizabeth's 15. Couple years. Like, sorry. Yeah, Elizabeth gets to have a night of her own, so she doesn't need to come. But however, you still need to come. And I'm like,
God dang it.
I'm 13.
But yeah, I guess 13
and again,
is
I was
still too young a girl.
I was left alone when I was 13. Like,
I was brought everywhere when I was 13.
Like at some point, but then my parents were like, okay, nah, we're not gonna leave you alone in the house, so you're coming with us. And it still kept on going until this day. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
That's not fair! You were disappointed by the news. Alright, I can go. What's the soiree going to be like?
I don't know. Since we were complaining, I would feel like that's not fair.
Yeah, that's not
or
fair.
you were disappointed by the news. Either way,
Okay, I guess we'll be not
that's not
vocal
fair.
about it. Or I guess so.
I guess either one. Either one is
Either
kind of
one.
how I'm feeling right now. Either one. I'm gonna
I'll be
randomize it. One.
disappointed.
You were disappointed by the news. Crossing your arms over your chest, you lean back in your seat. So much for the big talk. This was all about Elizabeth. Don't worry, we're not done yet. There's something in this for you. You were not yet convinced, but your moms gave the benefit of the doubt and listened. Your parents shared a look across the table. You cleared your throat, reminding them that you were waiting. They couldn't keep dropping such hints and then turn coy when the conversation was about to get good.
Well,
Since it's a pretty fancy party,
That's still chaperoned.
and attendees are allowed to bring a guest, we thought it'd be nice for an opportunity for you to invite someone yourself as a date, if you want. Your eyes widened as the words sunk in. Your mom's continued, and it was a struggle to keep up. Even though we'll be at the party too, you don't need to worry about us getting in your way. You'll be free to eat, dance, and enjoy the music as you see fit.
But no leaving the property.
Ma nodded at Mom's interjection.
isn't that great?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the party, and if you'd rather just bring a friend, that's a-okay too.
That's amazing. How disappointing. You didn't even know how to react. Yeah, we don't know how to react.
Yeah,
Date.
like
Date.
it's fit. Yeah, I feel like that too. You didn't know how to react. Your parents were smiling at you, clearly expecting a response, but you were still too shocked to formulate anything of the kind. You hadn't imagined this was where the talk was going.
Don't worry about it.
The soiree isn't until tomorrow, so you've got time. Just let us know your plans before we're heading out.
And that's all. We'll leave you to your lunch now. Your moms rose from their chairs in unison, disappearing to another part of the house. You barely noticed their departure. All you can think of was what just happened. The remnants of your lunch stared up at you from your plate.
You felt that you should finish eating. You had lost your appetite. You're glad to go back to eating.
I would feel like I would finish eating because I hate
Yes.
leftover food. So, yeah.
I would be glad to go back to eating.
I'm like a vacuum. I literally suck up everything on my plate.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, I used to do that, but I guess lately I haven't done that anymore. I've been eating small.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
The conversation had taken your mind off the meal, but you opted to try to eat a little more. You picked up at the plate for a little while longer. Even though you'd reconciled to your bedroom, your head was stuck down on the conversation that had unfolded at the dining table downstairs. You knew that.
Having someone come as a friend would be best. You wanted it to be a date. You didn't want to bring anyone. It was too soon to pick the one way or another. Ugh, you wanted it to be a date? Right? We had a crush on him, right?
Yeah, right. Our levels are crush, so might as well. You wanted to be a date. Sorry. The prospect of having your first date had made it impossible to sit it still. You couldn't help but jiggle your foot as you laid on your bed, contemplating the possibility. The night being a date would actually mean asking someone out. The little you knew of that came from you'd seen on TV and movies, and what you'd heard about from kids at school. Your moms hadn't entertained the idea of you dating until now. hey, at least they're okay with it. As long as
Yeah,
they're okay
actually
with
supportive.
they're okay
you
with
know,
it.
about
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You went over possible words and phrases in your head, setting up scenarios and smooth segues before tearing them down and trying something else. You realize that you've been mentally scripting in Cove as the one you were asking. It had been his name repeating inside your mind, his face lighting up as you invited him to join you.
You buried your face in your pillow, not wanting to continue after noticing. You laughed awkwardly at yourself. Smiling, you closed your eyes at the daydream crystallizing in your head. All three of them are very, very valid.
Yep. I wish that there was a chance to pick all of them, because like literally it's all
It's like a stage. You just go from the first one, then the second one,
second
and then
one,
the
third one.
I guess I would be daydreaming because
yeah,
I like
why not?
daydreaming.
Yep, let's daydream. You let your train of thought continue a little longer. You clearly pictured his eyes, the way he rubbed his arm when he was nervous, and tried your best to guess what he might do next. It was nice. You liked him. You knew you were supposed to be friends, but you just liked him a lot. I like how the game doesn't literally tell you like, oh yeah, you have a crush on him. No, it like describes of how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know, it doesn't like straight up just tell you. You know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's nice. What was it? What I learned about writing is that you need to describe. Well, you know, screenwriting.
Like you don't
to
need
describe.
like you don't like it's kind of pointless to just tell people to, oh yeah, you have a crush on him. Like no. You need to describe how they're feeling in the moment.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
you know,
it
doesn't make sense if you were gonna like
what?
just.
What do you mean?
Oh wait, no,
No,
it
just
does makes sense if
sense.
you. It makes sense. Not doesn't make sense. It makes sense for you to describe how they're feeling in the
It's
moment.
just that when you're writing a story, you have to describe
the feeling.
Yeah,
and
the
the
feeling
and
or
the-
the detail or whatever.
Yeah.
You need the details to
Yeah.
imagine in your head and stuff. So yeah.
Also, I like the fact that this is like in description of like a 13-year-old because
Yeah.
the 13-year-old wouldn't like just say, "Oh yeah, I have a crush on him," but like, yeah, we
Yeah.
get it, but because this is a friendship and I like the build up where it's like you're starting. Okay, now you're noticing that you like him more than you should. You know, you like him
Yeah.
more than you should. But yeah. Anyways, let's continue. You wouldn't be able to stop thinking about him even if you wanted to, and you didn't. Sighing, you shifted position on the bed, resting your arms on the windowsill. A flock of birds caught your eye and led your gaze as they crossed the sky. You watched the birds grow smaller and less distinct until they disappeared from sight. Like the snap of the hypnosis fingers, you were released from the trance and left with a goal of your own. You were going to take a walk. You ambled through the familiar streets of your neighborhood, picking in your own path at whim. It was as quiet as ever, with tourists choosing to congregate in the shopping area near the beach rather than venture into the sleepy residential zones. You continued down the road and soon found yourself at the shore. The fresh, salty air hit you first, rolling to meet over the grassy dunes that tickled your legs, followed by a familiar view of the sea stretching across the horizon. You came at a halt. A lone figure was standing in the ocean, the water reaching up to his knees. Though he had his back to you, you recognized the familiar silhouette as Cove's. It made sense that you'd find him here. He was always in his element by the sea. You had no idea if he heard your arrival or if it was a coincidence, but he looked over his shoulder. Your eyes met.
You smiled, you waved, you called out, you nervously headed closer, you confidently headed closer. You smiled.
Smiled? I feel like I would personally call him out.
I would just wave. Me. But yeah, I guess I will also call out too, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to randomize it?
Yes, let's randomize.
Okay, 1 to 5. 5. You confidently headed closer.
Yep.
You hadn't known you'd find Cove out in the wild, but since you had definitely wanted to make the most of it, you strode over to him without hesitation. Ko smiled at you, bathed in the soft light of the afternoon sun, with his hair gently tousled by the sea's breeze. He looked especially charming. He then fully turned around and began to wade through the water over to the shore.
You wanted him to get to you already. You could hardly wait to talk about this. You hoped he took his time to come over. You were nervous about this. You relaxed after running into him. You were all right with all this. Relaxed, I guess? Since she walked...
Relax. Yeah, she walked.
Rocked
Yeah.
right. Yeah, she walked.
Yep.
Right.
We're relaxed. We're fine.
Yeah, we are fine.
Yeah, we're fine. It just felt nice to have come across Cobb right at this moment. The question of whether to invite him, and if so in a fashion, was in front of you, between leaping into a world unknown or enjoying the safety of the familiar.
Sheena.
Oh yeah, okay. Hey Sheena, are you free right now?
Not exactly. My moms are taking me to a soiree tomorrow at the country club.
It was kind of a strange segue, but you wanted to get right to the point. A soiree, huh? Sounds exciting? He was smiling politely, but you could tell that your outing mention hadn't sparked much interest. That didn't come as much of a surprise to you. Formal affairs and big gatherings were some of his least favorite things, but you were sure he'd attend if you were the one who invited him. You only had to do it. Cove tilted his head curiously at you.
You resolved to make it a date. You asked him to join as a friend only. You decided not to ask him at all. You didn't want to force him to come. You decided not to ask him at all. You didn't feel like having a guest. What? Come on. Let's go. You resolved to make it a date. Date.
Yeah, because I've done this, and
He didn't come.
he did. He asked.
Oh,
So
he did.
what I was surprised with when I clicked this, because I chose this option a lot, it's when he asked to come, which is like,
Ah.
oh my god, that's like
That's so
oh,
sweet.
it's sweet. Even though you did want to go on a date, he'll still ask because like, can I go? At least you're going. So like, but yeah, let's make it a date. Let's
Yeah.
resolve it by making it a date. Bob continued to watch you expectantly. It was kind of thrilling to keep him in suspense. Sheena?
Cove, I want you to be my date for the party. Do you want to go on a date with me? My parents said it would be alright if I brought a date in. Would you go to the party with me as a practice date?
I feel like practice date sounds more it's more calming. It's more like yeah,
But
I don't know.
She's so confident. Might as well.
Might as well what?
go all the way and say you're my date now.
Do you want to randomize it?
Yeah.
Just randomize this.
Yeah. Me, I'm since my
Would you go to-
character is being confident, might as well.
Would you go to the party with me as a practice date? Yep,
That's the fifth one? Oh.
Yeah. It's the fourth one. Yeah.
Alright.
Would you go to the party with me as a practice date?
Tsundere.
I don't know why I sounded like that.
I was like, as a practice date, Baka.
Huh? Your invitation left him speechless. It was better than a rejection. Is that something you're supposed to practice?
I don't know if a lot of people do it, but wouldn't it be a good idea to try out a date that wasn't really on official date first and then...
I feel like that's smart though. He'd rubbed an
Yes.
arm. And then?
Go on dates for real?
With who? With me? It was a soft but hopeful tone in his
God.
voice as he tried to coax
Oh my God,
more
that's so
information
cute.
from you.
Yes, with you. You're the one I want to date. It's obvious. I want to go on a date with you. A real one. I want to practice right now. I don't know. I'm not ready for a real date, but I'm curious. Yes, you! You idiot!
Okay. Alright. We'll go with yes with you. You're the one I want to date. It's obvious.
Yes.
Cove was taken so back, he almost physically stumbled backwards. Why didn't you say that before?
No, I'm saying it now. Will you go on a date with me to the party? A real date?
He twisted his face to the side, no longer able to meet your eyes. Cove wrapped his arms around his chest, as if to keep himself together.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
I'm as serious as something serious. It's very serious, is what I'm saying.
His lips were pressed tightly together, preventing any more words from slipping out. You could tell that he was nervous, but that was always easy to pick up on with him. After another moment, he inclined his head, dipping it in a nod so slight that you might have missed it had it been haven't been able to tear your eyes from him.
Yay! Really? You exhaled deeply. Thank you. You're welcome.
I would say, really? You would still want to go after
I would say. I would just
after
exhale
what I
deeply.
put you through, man. You'd say yay,
Yeah.
or like I would
Or more
exhale
like
deeply.
exhale. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
exhale deeply.
Deeply, yeah. That's a good choice.
Yeah, let's just do that in the middle.
Yeah. Cope closed his eyes, trapped in his awkward pose. He was gripping his arms so tightly that the skin around his knuckles was fully taut.
Are you okay?
Cope exhaled at last, letting out a sigh that stretched into another tense silence. His stance loosened, his arms stayed across over his chest, but he was no longer clutching them like a shield. He didn't want to be the one to break the quiet. Thanks, Sheena. I guess I'm gonna have to tell my dad and mom too.
Right. I've gotta let my moms know you're going. Can you come with me?
Yeah. It was a relief that he thought enough to manage to speak again. You hoped that by the time you got to your house, he'd been able to manage a full sentences once more. Cole went to where he discarded things in the sand, tugging his shirt over his head and slipping up on a pair of shoes before joining you in setting off home. The two of you stepped inside the front door of your house. It was an action that you'd taken together countless times, but your stomach had never churned quite like this on previous occasions. At the sound of the door opening, your mom poked her head into the hall.
Hello.
Hello? Oh. Ah, Cove, it's you. What a surprise.
She chuckled at her own joke. Cove was always there, and she knew how close the two of you were. Bringing anyone other than him back would have been an actual surprise. Hi, Mrs. Clocksworth. It's nice to see you.
So I take it Cove's going to be our guest for tomorrow night? Yep.
Well,
And what kind of outing will it be?
Her voice was hesitant but serious. Cove ducked his head down reflexively, and you knew he'd figure out what she was driving at.
It's a date. You know what it is. What does it look like? You couldn't bring yourself to speak. That's it.
I feel like, you know what it looks like. It would be like at mom, be like, you know what it looks like. You literally
You know
just
what it
talked to
is.
me about. You
What
literally
does
just
it look
talked.
like?
Yeah.
So it's one of the two. You know what it is, or what does it look
You
like?
know what it is. You know what it is, mom.
Oh my goodness. Alright, let's do it.
Yep. Okay. Mom nodded in understanding. She wore a wispy smile.
Ma is going to be thrilled about this.
Cove tilted his head back just slightly. He peeked through the longer strands of his hair. Just
Sorry.
just her, Mrs. Clockwork. Even if he'd not been able to see his wide, worried eyes, you'd heard the anxiety in his voice. Your mom sighed and patted him on the arm. Oh, wait, you. Yeah, sorry.
What?
It's
Oh,
you.
Cove, you're a great kid. Most parents hope that their kid meets such a special person someday.
She glanced aside, a wiry expression on her face.
Someday is the real keyword there.
She turned back to you both.
Why does she have to have a face like that? But you just had to move in right across the street at 8 years old.
They know. They know too well.
Yeah, it's like we fell in love at love first sight.
Literally.
Love at first sight.
Mom crouched down, shaking her head, and put a hand on each of Ko's shoulders.
Okay.
Oh, Cove, I hope you're planning on being very good to Sheena. And I'm not just talking about tomorrow night.
She nudged him playfully on the cheek with a fist. Ko, who had been blushing when all this began, is now as red as the heirloom tomato. Okay, yeah, I was, or will. Mom is so...
He's hilarious. You're making him uncomfortable. Stop embarrassing me. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. Cove's definitely going to be good to me. Come on, Cove. What kind of answer was that?
Come on, give him some credit. At least he's speaking.
I know, right? At least he's speaking, yes.
Okay.
Stop embarrassing me, Mom. Or you're making him uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're making him uncomfortable, like literally.
Yeah, let's just do that. You're making him uncomfortable. Stop.
You're making him uncomfortable.
Also me.
You crossed your arms over your chest and frowned at your mom. Was she trying to scare Kova before you'd even had a chance to go out with him? He didn't speak further. His eyes locked on his shuffling feet as he rubbed the scar on his arm. The redness remained intact.
Okay, I put go through the ringer enough. The big day isn't even here yet.
You wondered if that meant she'd intended to give a repeat of this performance tomorrow. You're afraid to find out.
I'll give your folks a call and get everything squared away.
She headed off to get the phone, leaving the two of you alone. Gove's eyes started to you, and he shot you a quick, delicate smile before staring at the ground again. I'm going to go across the street, talk to my parents.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye, Cove.
He retreated from your home's entryway without another word. And the rest of the afternoon passed just like that. Back in your room, your mind was alight with visions of tomorrow night. The soiree was something, but not nearly as exciting as it was going on your first date. You were thrilled that Cove had actually said yes, and that was your genuine date to the party. You hugged your knees to your chest, overwhelmed by the thought the night couldn't come soon enough. The evening of the soiree had arrived. The daylight hours have been having slipped away in a blur. Up in your bedroom, you were getting ready for the big event. That was your intention at least, but you hadn't settled on an outfit. Stationed in front of your wardrobe, you scanned over the clothing you had at your disposal. Though your mom had mentioned this event and was a bit dressier than a normal get-together, you didn't necessarily have to comply.
You looked for something formal. You wanted to keep things casual. You wondered how Cove might feel about your outfit. Let's wonder about what Cove might feel about our outfit first.
Yeah, I haven't actually clicked on this option, so yeah.
Let's do that.
You couldn't help but consider how he'd respond to the way you were dressed. Would he like seeing you all dressed all fancy, or would it reinforce the weirdness of the situation? Your mind drifted across the street. Was Cove going through these same steps right now, staring at his wardrobe and trying to decide what to wear? He had no idea if he would dress up for the occasion himself or he'd wear his usual attire. It would be much easier if he knew what he was going to do.
You didn't want to look stupid in front of Cove. You wanted to impress Cove. You didn't want to come across as too excited. You didn't want to look like you were taking this too seriously. You wanted him to see you in a new light.
I kind of want that.
Yeah, same.
See you in a new light.
Yes, let's do that.
You wanted to see him in a new light.
You looked for something formal. Let's do that.
Formal. We don't need to say the second option.
Yeah, we don't need.
You attempted to decide between the nicer pieces in your wardrobe, the ones that rarely had a chance to come out. You decided to dress formally because
you felt like you had to. You honestly liked dressing up. You were dressing to impress. You ought to put the things you own to use. You wanted to make Ma happy.
I kind of want to do this because this is personally me. It's like I at least because I bought stuff before and I barely use them, which I feel bad for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
True.
So I ought to put them.
I just like to dress up. That's it.
I would.
I like to dress to impress.
Either one of the two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close my eyes and just click. It's so bad.
Alright.
Oh.
Yep.
It was a little depressing. They were high quality clothes, but the label meant that they had got to see the world outside in your closet. You'd at least give them this chance to fulfill their function in life. To start, you decided to wear a dress, a blouse, a button-down shirt.
Dress.
Yeah, let's go for it. A dress. The ones you picked was light and had sheen. The silky material seemed to glide through your fingers as you took it from the wardrobe. It was a perfect fit for a summer evening party. You began to get dressed, your fingers working in stiff zips and awkwardly fastening. It felt different against your skin, reminding you with every movement that you were dressed up. Whatever happened tonight, you were pleased that you'd gotten the opportunity to wear this. Now dressed, you gave yourself a final glance over before heading downstairs ready to head out. You found your moms already waiting in the living room. They were putting the finishing touches on their outfit, Ma strapping her heel into a stiletto shoe, and Mom trying to fasten the bracelet single-handed. They looked up as you entered.
Oh,
Sheena, you look so nice, don't you think, Pam?
thanks.
Thanks for dressing up, Sheena. I hope the party will be prepared for your arrival. You look sharp.
I actually really like can we just like agree that the moms look really nice?
Yeah, I actually don't remember them dressing like this actually. What?
I like how Mom has a blazer on while like wearing this nice dress.
And then
Mom wears a shawl.
Yeah,
it's really
cute.
I love I love them. Mom was still struggling with the bracelet. You lent a hand literally by taking one to the side and holding as she secured the clasp.
Thanks, kiddo.
Mom then glanced over at the clock on the wall, seeing where the hands were pointing. A frown creased her face.
When's Coke going to be here? Do you know? I said that weird. He's getting here at 7. Yeah, probably. I'm not sure. I'm picking him up from his place. I'll go get him. I would get him.
Yeah, let's get him.
Yeah.
Let's go. Or I'm picking him up from this place. Either one.
Yeah, let's just go.
Let's just go get him. We'll get him.
Yes. I'll get him. Oh, yeah?
She raised her eyebrows, a broad grin replacing the earlier frown.
That's very polite of you. Go sweep him off his feet. We want to leave in 10 minutes.
Sheena.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay.
Cove's house was nearly seconds away from yours, making the warning unnecessary, but you dutifully went out. After crossing the street, you found yourself at Cove's familiar front door. You rang the bell, whose chimes was lodged in your head from all the times you'd rung it over the years. Though, unlike usual, Cove's mom, Kyra, was the one who answered it at this night.
Come on.
Hey, Sheena, come on in. She beckoned you inside as she was so excited to see you that words alone weren't enough. Thanks for coming. The boys will be right down. They're just in Cove's room. I can call them if you want.
That would be great, thanks. It's alright, I can wait. Can I go check? You went over to Co's room to check yourself.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Um,
Can I go check?
you want to go check?
Well, actually, no.
Or do you want
It's alright, I can wait.
It's alright, you can wait. It's like, alright, we can wait.
Great.
Sure. She took a seat on the sofa and patted a chair. Feel free to put your feet up. While you wait, Kyra easily filled the time by chatting with you about your plans for the night ahead. A short while later, Mr. Holden strolled into the living room, giving you a wave. Cove pulled his face into a smile as you reciprocated. The tension in his face faded away. You watched him taking in your outfit, swallowing and grinning at you again. Hi, Sheena.
Hi, Cove.
He opened his mouth to speak more, then paused. Cove checked the time using a clock hanging on the side of the wall and addressed his parents. We've got to go. Even if there hasn't been time for a real discussion, he felt relieved about their positive reaction. He abruptly headed toward the door.
Come on.
Where's the fire? Isn't there something you want to do before leaving for the dance?
Cove frowned, wincing at the call-out. While his dad continued to smile encouragingly curious, you watched Cove expectantly. It was hard to imagine what he would do before heading out or what you'd have time for. Your mom's warning about not taking too long echoed in the back of your mind.
Come on.
We can do that later. His words came out in a mumble. Kyra laid a hand on Cove's chest, pinning him in place. Don't mind him. You kids have a blast.
Bye!
He ducked out, following Cove into the street. Cove sighed, wrapping a hand across his forehead. Seeing the look on your face, he shook his head.
It's okay.
I'm fine, it's nothing. That was good news. You didn't think Cove would get much out of a party if he went in already feeling bad, but it didn't explain his actions or his dad's teasing question.
What was your dad on about?
His expression grew pain, his brows creased, and his mouth furrowed as he avoided meeting you in the eyes. You might have gotten worried, but if it was not for the blush coloring in his face, he'd be just embarrassed. Cove drew himself before responding. Dad's been making a big deal out of everything ever since he found out about this. He gestured vaguely between him and you. How I'm dressed, how I should prepare, what was going to happen. He even looked up the price definition of a soiree in 2 dictionaries in case at least one was wrong. That is great.
I know, he's great.
It's so great.
That's a lot.
It's so great. He's such a good dad.
He is. He's just worried.
He wanted to make sure I know. Oh, whoops, that's not the right voice. Oh, he wanted to make sure I would know what to do at 1. So after he figured it out, he made sure to tell me about it. He exhaled, smiling sheepishly.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry for complaining. It's not your fault. It's not really his fault either.
It's okay.
Thanks. I was trying to get somewhere with that. Both my dad and mom insisted that since this is a... He paused, pushing his hair back from his burning face and forced himself to continue. It's a date and kind of a fancy party. I need to bring something for you for inviting me. The conclusion of the story caught you by the surprise. You blinked, unsure if you slacked too much on your own preparation for tonight.
You got me a present?
That's,
Not really, just this. Cole reached out behind himself to take something out of the back pocket. His hand returned to view you with him holding a single small galaxy bell by the stem. I forgot about their weird flower thing.
Yeah. Galaxy Bell. Yeah, our weird creation.
Our weird creation. Cove threw his gaze to the floor, shying, inching his hand close to you.
It's my favorite. This is nice. Or I don't like this flower, you said jokingly. I don't like this flower, you said honestly.
Oh my
That's
god,
not very nice. It's my favorite.
my favorite. Yeah. Cove audibly sighed in relief. He got the impression that he'd been stressing over the flower he chose. I wasn't positive, though I thought it would be.
You didn't need to do this, Cove. I'm sorry I didn't get you anything. Thank you, Cove. You left the conversation there. You're so wonderful.
You're so wonderful, Cove.
5.
He's too good for us. You're so wonderful.
Yeah, he's too good.
He sputtered a weak laugh out of sheer anxiousness rather than humor.
I mean,
I'm not. You're the one who...
No, I think you are.
Okay. He didn't have it in him to continue this conversation, even if that meant not being able to refute your assessment. Then you accepted the flower from him. Cove straightened himself out in response. So we're gonna be late if we keep standing here.
Right. We better hurry.
You return home in Cove in tow. Your moms welcomed you back. You expected them to pile you back outside immediately, but their urge momentarily was stifled as they caught the sight of the flower clasped in your hand. Thankfully, other than sharing a feeling annoying smile, they took it in stride and didn't say anything. Mom's smile looked vanished as she caught the sight of the clock. Purpose remembered. Your mom was you out once more into the car and off to your destination. You pulled up at the country club. The sun had sunk deep into the horizon, and the last of its light sheepishly warming the outcome on the oncoming night. Your moms had led the way to the space around the back where the event was being held. The place had been transformed through the decoration, with smart tablecloths and elegant ribbons contributing to a festive atmosphere. Musicians dressed in matching black and white and were setting up their instruments, flicking through the pages of a music sheet. As promised, there was a table covered in plates of carefully prepared food. Destination reached, your parents rounded on you and Cove.
Things haven't kicked off yet, but don't let that stop you from enjoying yourselves.
have fun.
Have fun. We'll be around if you need us.
See you later.
Bye.
Cove waved your moms off. Once they retreated a distance away, you found him watching you expectantly. What now? It wasn't a question but a plea for help. You can tell that he definitely didn't know what to do with himself in this situation.
We'll have to wait for some things to start, like the band, but there's stuff going on already.
Cove perked up at that.
Really?
Oh, do you want to do any of those, whatever they are?
You introduced Cove to people in your country club. You took a seat to relax. You checked the snacks at the refreshment table. I would do that.
Check the snacks. The
Yes.
snacks, yeah. Let's go for some snacks.
Straight to the snacks. We can go eat
Food.
some food now, even if the music hasn't started yet.
Oh?
That's okay. It's not too soon.
Yeah, I only like these parties because of the free food. I knew you'd come just for the free food. Yep, I wonder what they'll have this time. No one will mind, really. You simply nodded.
Yeah, I come to these parties for the free food.
Yes,
Yes.
that is the only reason.
The only reason. Let's go check it out. The two of you wandered over to the refreshment table. With it being early in the night, it had barely been touched, and the plates were nearly as pristine as they were left in the kitchen. The offerings were all tiny and bite-sized, ready to be picked up and sampled. It was immediately apparent that there was plenty to choose from. Just from the level of care which was presented, it was clear that this fancy stuff Code was stared at one plate, then another, confused.
Maybe?
I think I know some of this.
I don't. Gross. And only some of it is any good. This is good stuff. I don't know.
I feel like it would be good stuff because it's a country club and I'm pretty sure it's a lot of
true.
rich people.
I guess.
I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes they have weird escargot things.
Yeah. I don't want to. This is like, yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
I picked one of the nearby morsels and presented it in front of Cobes to observe. It looks like a slice of the world's smallest loaf of bread with stuff on top.
It has to be small, so you've got room to try lots of different things.
Those eyes were as wide as you guided him through what was on offer. It made you feel sophisticated. Cole squared his shoulders as he geared up for a match. His stance were familiar all the times you'd seen him prepare for some sporting event. I'm gonna try it. He picked up a plate and took one appetizer and then another, and soon you realized he was taking one of every single type.
You're taking everything?
Uh-huh, why not?
You joined him in sampling everything. You picked out only certain options. Everything.
Everything. We'll join him. Make him feel bad. Make him feel like, yeah. You might be stuffed afterwards, but there was a problem for your future self. Right now, you were going to enjoy the feast to the full. Cove nibbled his way through everything the surprise had. The result of his endeavor were mixed, and he was revolted by some things he tried, but openly screwing his face and rushing to find a drink that washed the taste away. Yet, these bad experiences didn't stop him from plowing on, moving on to the next act with an open mind. There were some things he was neutral about, dismissing them with a shrug, but somewhere his reactions were stumbled across something good. Each time he caught him by surprise, his expression morphing from wary curiosity to skeptical interest before making way for astonished enjoyment. Regardless of how he felt about what he was currently eating, you could tell that he was having a good time just being free to eat whatever he laid his eyes on. Though that was nice too. After going through a round of samplings,
You continued munching on the refreshments while waiting for the music. You moved on to something else. I don't know.
we'll randomize it. It's 2, whatever. You moved on to something else. Oh my god.
You introduced Cove to people in your country club. You took a seat to relax.
I would prefer to relax. I'm such an introvert. I'm such an introvert. I would prefer to relax.
Do that, yeah.
Relax.
I just let people come to me if they want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if they want to chat, we'll chat, but you have to come to me.
Yeah. We should pick out a table.
Okay. You found a place to sit to the edge of the party area, where it was quiet with fewer people bustling around. You pulled out a chair and sat down. Cove, already seated, was stretching. These clothes are kind of uncomfortable. He flexed his arm with an elbow, frowning before twisting it back behind him.
Yeah?
My arms can't move the same as normal. Like I'm gonna rip if I do anything.
I don't mind it. Yeah, it's the worst. I think it suits you. I don't know what the question was. I don't remember what. Oh, is it something not a shirt? Wait, what was the question?
It's like I think like the whole formal thing is like it suits him. But do you want to randomize it?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't mind it. So, yep. That's cool. I might not either if it didn't pull me at every 5 seconds. He toyed with one cuff on his shirt, wedging a finger between the fabric and skin. Watching him struggle against his clothes, you thought back to how oppressive you'd been about selecting your outfit. Apprehensive about you selecting your outfit.
I had a really, what was it? You kept quiet and hoped he hadn't noticed. I had a really hard time choosing what I was gonna wear. Yeah, the last one.
Yeah, same. Sorry, I'm like, I'm drinking coffee and I sound like tired.
Me too. I feel
Uh,
like I need to make more coffee.
Yep. Alright. You did? I didn't see you looking mad no matter what, but I know what you mean. Cope breathed his past as high praise he casually given and looked forlornly down at his outfit. I felt really weird doing something for this too. Did your moms tell you what to wear?
No, Mom just told me that it was a fancy sort of thing.
That's nice. He settled down in the seat just a bit. Now that you had a spot of your own,
He stayed chatting with Cove at the table. Yeah, that's it.
yep, that's it. We're chatting with Cove. Nothing else. In no time at all the sun was set in full. The lights faded in, the opening notes of the band's first song rang out. You and Cove just had saw what you were doing, turning to contemplate the party that had been steadily unfurling while you were distracted. It was much busier now, both in terms of people and activity. The first sets were taken into the dance floor, some attentive, others eager, and even if the band hadn't been playing, the constant level of chatter would have ensured that it was in a quiet night. With the party now in full swing, your option had increased.
You went to see what your moms were up to. You watched the band perform, you asked Cove to dance. Let's dance, Cove.
Let's dance, Cove. Frick, my arm is like, ugh.
So, would you like to dance, maybe? Hey, Cove, let's dance. Cove, can I have the pleasure of your company on the dance floor? Come on,
Nope.
it's time to dance. I'd like to dance with you, if that's okay.
I feel like the last one, because again, I feel like he's kind of uncomfortable with being in a fancy party all of a
I
sudden.
mean, the first one is also a thing.
True.
So, would you like to dance, maybe?
Maybe if that's okay with you.
I would do that.
Yeah, I would like to dance if that's okay with you. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
I
Alright.
mean, for me, I would do the first one.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
We're at a standstill. It's like
Again.
frick.
Okay,
Again.
randomizer.
Alright, 5 2 Hey
Alright.
Cove, let's dance.
Yeah, that's simple.
Really? He blurted out the words without thinking, then clamped a hand over his mouth before anything else could slip out.
Really?
Cove sucked in a deep breath as if trying to inhale confidence as well as oxygen into his lungs. He gave a serious nod before holding a trembling hand out toward you.
You felt confident? You felt nervous right along with him? I mean, we're the confident of the two, so might as
I
well.
guess we're confident about it. You were at ease with Cove and had nothing to fear from the dance. Quite the contrary. You stood tall, ready to make an impression. You took Cove's outstretched hand. His skin was hot and damp. You'd squeeze it, giving it a reassuring smile, and together you carefully made your way onto the dance floor. You took your place standing before each other, hands still entwined. Frowning, Cove assessed the situation, trying to puzzle it out like a math problem before putting his remaining free hand on your shoulder.
You repositioned his hand to your waist. You were happy with that. I don't know.
Reposition his hand to your waist.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. Gently, you took his hand from your shoulder and moved it lower down for a dance. His eyes looked in shock at the touch. From how tense his arm was, you knew Cove was fighting an urge to pull away. But immediately he smiled shyly at you and grip on your other hand tightened. You gazed up at Cove, who seemed intently aware of a few inches he had over you. Cove awkwardly glanced down at you from the corner of his eyes, looking almost apologetic. The music had begun. You'd both move eagerly, trying to catch up to it, but your feet took you in an opposite direction. Bumbling, the two of you shoveled down from side to side, attempting to mirror each other's movement, but always winding up at odds. It was difficult. Coase was struggling just coordinating his own limbs to the rhythm, let alone matching your movements. When Coase's foot ghosted over yours, it was decided it'd be safest for everyone if you simply swayed to the tune. You rooted yourself on the floor and your torso gently moved to the sound. Gratefully, Cove kept his movement small and subtle in the same way. All was fine for a while. You weren't going to win any dancing acolytes with Cove, but it didn't matter when you were treasuring in just being so close to him. Cove set out of sync with the music, knocking against you. He flinched back, nearly pulling you over in the process. You took a hand from him and held it up, halting proceedings so you can both get your bearings once more.
We should have stuck to the hokey pokey. It's okay. Dancing is harder than I thought. I'm signing you up for dance lessons. You quietly took a break. It's okay.
It's okay. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on.
that's it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, even though you injured my foot or whatever.
It's fine. Instead of fully accepting the reassurance, Cove looked off. Thanks. Then you took Cove's hand once more and gingerly resumed swaying to the music. Cove reluctantly followed suit, his small steps and apprehensive. He mumbled something quietly. This is a long song. You weren't sure how to take that. Whether it meant that something was wrong, or if Cove didn't really like dancing, or if he didn't like dancing with you specifically. It made the last couple of minutes of the song uncomfortable as you weighed up what to do and what to say to Cove. When the musicians laid their instruments down, Cove dropped your hands as they were burning him. He trailed off to dance as quickly as he could without breaking into an outright run. In truth, you bet that faster than most people here could manage. You had difficulty ailing him before he could get lost in the crowd. When you caught up, you said nothing. You tried to get to him into doing something else, but enticing anything from him was now impossible. You focused over Cove, wondering how he was finding this evening. He sighed. It was so quiet and unobtrusive that you couldn't and have caught it if he hadn't been watching him. His gaze was roaming. With how far his eyes see, whatever he was searching for couldn't be found at this party. He turned to face you before you could say anything. I want to sit down.
We can do that.
Cove began to move you and instantly followed him. Yet instead of taking a seat at one of the many free tables as you expected, Cove ignored them as he purposely strode out of the party area.
Where are you going?
Your call didn't seem to register with him as he continued forward, out onto the greens of the golf course. You went after him, trying to watch out for the uneven ground underfoot, the clods of the earth dislodging in the games of golf where you were perfect for snatching unwary feet even in daylight. Up ahead, Cove didn't appear to have any difficulty traversing the uneven land. He settled down on one of the small hills of the golf course. You joined him, still unsure of what was going on.
Are you alright? And why are you here? Why are we here? What's wrong? Why'd you drag us out here? Look at us, breaking the rules. You didn't say anything.
I would ask what's wrong, personally.
Yeah, we're just gonna say that.
I want to know what's up with him, this poor boy.
What's wrong?
Cove startled, as he acted on instinct and your question had brought him around to reality again.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And it's okay. You can go back to the party. You didn't nudge from your spot. From here, the party was just glowing haze in the distance.
You didn't want to leave him behind. You're glad to take a break. You didn't want to leave him behind.
Yeah, obviously. We never want to leave Cole behind.
Yep. I'm not gonna leave you here, and I'm not going to drag you back if you don't want to.
Oh, cool, thanks. Now that Ko was more at ease, you tried to find out what had caused him to take flight in the first place. Even thinking the words pained you, but you knew the answer.
Did going to the party with me make you uncomfortable?
Logically, you knew that was the issue, and was likely the activity rather than your company. Your heart strained with worry that you might have been at fault, though.
Was it because I made you dance?
His abrupt departure, or that was another indicator that something had gone awry.
What?
No. He shook his head empathetically. It's not anything I did tonight, and it's definitely not anything you did either. Relief overcame you. You'd suspected as much, but with this being your very first date, it was hard to be sure. Clove attempted to fill in the gaps of understanding. I don't want to think about going back to the party. I just feel we're ready to go home.
To your home planet? Don't try running that far. You keep quiet. I'm sorry you're not having fun anymore. Should I get my ums? I don't know. I guess
Wanna randomize
I
it?
should ask if we should get our moms for this.
Yeah, same. I don't want to ruin their night. Cove sat there quietly, gazing out into the shadowy hills and valleys of the golf course, and comfortably warm wind rustled between you, tussling his hair. It was so far away from the hubbub of the party you couldn't even make out the quiet sound of the crickets chirping. This is kind of how we first met, don't you remember?
Yeah, of course I do. How could I forget? No. How could I forget?
How could I forget how we first met?
Yeah, I know, right?
You'd always liked him, even from the very first day. It was so weird, and that was a long time ago now. You thought back on the day when Cove first arrived in the neighborhood. He had run away from Mr. Holden, taking solace in the hills behind your house. That had been late too, on a clear night like today. Looking at the sky, you wondered if the stars were looking down were the same ones as dead. Cove's face was brighter, and the thought you could still see the signs of strain that had caused him to depart from the soiree. When he first sat down, he had curled up like a big pillow of bug, hunched over, knees pressed against his chest, and arms wrapped around them. He was unwound as you've been talking, straightened up, his hands free to gesticulate. It was though the two of you had constructed your own little world away from everything else, and he was beginning to perk up. The small smile that had crept on his face quickly ushered away by a frown. I can't believe I'm on a date. Cole followed up on his statement before you could react. He spoke distinctly whispered tone, as though you were the only one in the world who he could share these words with. After I said I wanted to come, I want to take it back. Not because I really didn't want to do it, but because I don't know. It seemed like a big deal. It made me feel bad, somehow. I just started feeling like I couldn't do it, even though I just wanted to do it. I guess it was sort of like having to give a presentation in front of the class, even though it was just me and you doing something, like we always do. He charged on, his words streaming out. I still could do it because thinking about not being there with you and what you might think if I take it back made me feel way worse than whatever else I felt.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Sheena. I'm sorry I can't deal with stuff like this and I have to make everything so complicated.
You don't need to apologize. You sadly hung your head. I'm sorry it made you feel bad. I don't want you to be here if you don't want to be here. You smiled at him. You didn't have to come. You could have told me.
You don't have to apologize, Cole.
Yeah, I know.
Literally, he literally doesn't need to apologize.
Yeah, you don't need to apologize.
Yeah, he does not need to apologize.
You then took his hand. You then placed a hand on his shoulder. You then leaned against him. You then ruffled his hair. You hoped he would feel better. You lean against him.
Leaned against him, we're leaning against him. It always made you feel secure to lean against Ko, having him support you in the most literal sense. Maybe he felt the same way. He finally moved his head to look you straight in the eyes meeting yours.
Sheena.
Thanks for inviting me, Sheena. You stared back at him, not comprehending.
But didn't it make you feel bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. When I had to think about it, I was actually gonna do it, but I'm getting to hear what you wanted me to come. That you wanted me to come made me feel good. You flushed and had to break the fragile eye contact made.
I mean,
I want to keep doing things with you no matter what, even if I feel weird sometimes. I don't want to stop being there, and I don't want to stop I don't want you to stop wanting me there. Because whenever I do, it is for real and you're with me, and it feels all the better in the end. It always does. Cope stood out without warning. Support gone, you threw an arm to catch yourself from toppling over. At that point, you didn't have much choice but to join him on your feet.
What was that? Hey, give me a warning next time. What's up? You tilted your head in an unspoken question. What did he do again? I forgot.
He stood up while you were resting on him.
Oh. Hey!
Hey!
Give me a warning next time. Or what's up?
What's up? Yeah, same. What's up? What's up? Cove smiled awkwardly, brushing some grass off the side of his pants.
wanna dance with me?
Okay.
You already danced with me. I didn't think you had a good time.
It's a dance party, right? And I think he trailed off, frown furrowed, as if he was trying to figure out the answer himself. Nodding slowly, he continued. I think I want to dance with you again before it's over. With only a words he had to explain gone, he held up his hand to you. His expression was soft.
I want to dance with you too. No thanks. You nodded quietly. You shook your head. I want to dance with you too.
I want to dance with you too. Then you reached his hand and took it in yours. You returned hand in hand with the party reaching the end of a long evening. Dancing almost had become scarce. One pair among many were hard and loose, but now the space around you would act as a spotlight now that there weren't many left to watch you. He was still at ease, even embuoyed by the displayed crowd. This time there was a spring in his step as you walked into the dance floor together. Kelf kept hold of the hand that you'd given him back on the little hill. Remembering your early attempt at dancing, he placed his free hand on your waist all on his own, though it was still with a touch of trepidation. Kelf hesitated while you waited for his sigh. With the song progressed before you'd step out and dance, there was no signal for the right moment to begin. The same thought occurred to Cove, who shrugged his shoulders but kept keeping form. Taking in that was your starting point and cautiously began to sway. Cove readily followed your example. You danced wordlessly, dimly aware of the music guiding you. You were more focused on Cove, whose attention firmly fastened on you. Unlike before, when he nervously looked down at his feet, trying to keep them in check, his eyes were steady. He didn't even allow himself to be shaken when your knees locked against each other and you both briefly fumbled your steps. Instead, he chuckled, and it was as soft as the roll of the morning tide. His lips curved and into a shy crescent. He had been drifting into a dreamlike state, but the expression one you'd never seen before pinned you back to reality. Your heart caught in a clench. You held tight, yet straining the effort, thumping harder than it had after an amount of physical exertion. As if in response, his hand began to hold yours and increased the strength. He pulled you ever so slightly more towards him. Though thoughts about it meant or what might happen when it was eased, and the both of you were able to simply have the stance. Time felt away as you took this small moment. All too soon, the song reached its conclusion. You could have continued quite constantly for some time more. You stilled one hand in yours, and his coat showed no sign of moving either. Both started to let go. You heard your name called out, and that brought the dance truly to an end. It was fun to find Mom yelling for you and Ko. Beside her, Mom was shaking her head.
Sorry.
It's time to go home. Lonnie, I had to get hold of them somehow. What did you want me to do? Sneak up on them?
Her chosen method, admittedly better than that, you still winced at how dazed you'd been when she announced her arrival. Golf looked so embarrassed that you seriously worried about him fleeing again. This time he didn't think to stop until he was out of the grounds. Despite Co's reaction to the scene with your moms, to you it had been the perfect ending to the evening. You were so glad you got the chance to dance with Ko once more before the night was over. And it definitely was over now. You didn't need to say anything to Ko. The two of you marched wordlessly over to your parents, who were still bickering playfully. Standing shoulder to shoulder, your parents surveyed you and Ko. You wondered if they were checking in that you were returning Mr. Holden's son in the same state you left the house.
So,
That was quite a night, huh, gang?
Wasn't it just? Cobb managed to self-consciously smile. Yeah. Ma was smiling too, but an expression so soft it could have cradled a newborn chick.
well,
And how was your very first day?
Please don't start on them already. It technically hasn't even ended yet.
Fine.
Well, good. Well, we'd better ready ourselves to get back to Elizabeth. If we're lucky, the house might still be standing.
Pam.
Oh, hush. She swayed your mom playfully, laughing at the comment. You cast one look at the party. You saw people exchanging farewells and suppressing yawns. Most of the faces were happy ones despite wearing that was starting to weep in. Cope's head was angled away from you. As you watched, wondering what he was looking at, he came around you and met your gaze. It was strange, though it had only been a few hours of your life. You felt a little older as a result of the attending a party. It was like a step away from the world of your childhood, where some were dressing up is reserved for the most exclusive form of play, towards something new that you haven't yet grasped. Turning away from the final moments of the party, you shelled away the thought for another time as your moms eagerly led you back to the car as you and Cove tailed behind them. You felt childlike once more. Wow.
Oh, that was a thing.
Yeah.
It ended right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, it's 11.
Yeah. That was a really good moment to have.
Yeah, it's really
you?
cute. It's adorable.
Yeah, and it's I really I feel bad for Cove for feeling that way, but I guess that's normal since this is technically their first date.
Yeah, pretty much their first date.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, we're gonna close this episode. So thank you guys for watching, and please like and subscribe, and support GB Patch Games on their social media and getting the game and buying the DLC and all that, and or supporting them on Patreon.
Yeah.
And with that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all again.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.